Hello and welcome to Tech Insight here on Spectrum Television. It's great to have you join us today. My name is Samuel Ugochukwu. Welcome to the show. On today's episode, we're taking a look at some of the biggest tech stories making headlines across Nigeria, Africa, and the global tech ecosystem. From global payments and startup accelerators to Africa's growing digital economy and the technologies shaping the future of sports and innovation. It's another packed show today, and so we go into it. First, we take a short break, and when we return, we dive into the biggest tech stories of the week. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're watching Tech Insight on Spectrum TV. My name is Samuel Ugochukwu. Let's begin now with a major development in Nigeria's fintech space. Well, PayPal has returned to Nigeria through Paga. Global payments giant PayPal has officially returned to Nigeria, partnering with local fintech company Paga to enable Nigerians to send and receive and withdraw funds directly. This development comes more than a decade after PayPal initially declined a partnership with Nigerian fintech firms, citing regulatory and risk concerns. With this partnership, freelancers, businesses, and digital creators in Nigeria can now receive global payments more seamlessly, something many have waited for in the past years. This is also expected to boost Nigeria's digital export economy, especially for creators, developers, and remote workers who rely on international payment platforms. Well, honestly, this is long overdue, and Nigeria is one of the biggest digital talent markets in the world, talking about people who work remotely from different places, and having global payment platforms is something that we always look out for, and this is a welcome development. Now, from global payments, let's move to a story that is sparking conversations about Nigeria's presence on the global tech stage. Flutterwave. Flutterwave's recent visibility at the New York Stock Exchange has sparked renewed conversations about Nigeria's place in global technology. The fintech giant continues to expand across Africa and beyond, positioning itself as one of Africa's most recognizable tech brands globally. The movement highlights how African tech companies are not just building locally, but actively participating in global financial and technological markets. Well, good one for Flutterwave, gradually making it there. It was a big news over the week as they made it on the New York Stock Exchange market. Representation matters. Seeing African tech brands in the global financial spaces is really changing the perception and driving investment in the African market. Now let's talk numbers, big numbers right now. Nigeria's digital economy is projected to hit 18.3 billion naira by 2026, according to analysts. Analysts project that Nigeria's digital economy revenue could reach $18.3 billion, I beg your pardon, by 2026. With fintech, e-commerce, and edtech, health tech, and agri-tech expanding rapidly, digital services are becoming one of Nigeria's fastest growing economic sectors. This projection shows that the tech is no longer just a startup history, it's becoming a core economic pillar. Of course, you can see the projection there. If we can have the stats right now, you need to see the projections from the past 5 years. You could see the projection of the Nigerian economy in the past 5 years. You could see in 2026, we are looking at 18.3 billion dollars that is projected for this year 2026. In 2025 it was 15.9 billion dollars. In 2024 it was 13.4 billion dollars. In 2023 it was 11.2 billion dollars, and 2022 it was 9.7 billion dollars. So you could see over the last 5 years Nigeria's digital economy has grown tremendously on the upward scale. It's been a quantum leap, I must say, and from $9.7 billion in 2022 to $18.3 billion in 2026. That's a big one. That shows how much is going into the Nigerian digital economy. Big kudos to the federal government and the Minister of Digital Economy, Tunji Bosun, who is doing well and bringing so much investment into the Nigerian space. And let's look forward to the year 2026. Now let's move to opportunities for African startups. Google Startups Accelerator Africa has opened applications for the 10th edition of the Startups Accelerator Africa with a strong focus on AI-driven solutions. The program offers mentorship, technical support, and global exposure for African startups building impactful technologies. This is part of Google's broader push to support Africa's artificial intelligence and tech ecosystem. Well, programs like this are very crucial. Funding really matters, because I mean, one of the biggest problems in the tech space is funding, building from scratch, and we have so many startups across Nigeria and Africa with so many brilliant ideas solving Africa's biggest problems, but the problem is funding. And with programs like this, such startups and innovators get to have some funds to leverage on to build on their solutions. Now let's move from opportunity to frustrations. We're talking telecoms now, and I know this one would you would really relate to this one. Many Nigerians have taken to social media to express frustration over Airtel network disruptions, slow internet speeds, and unexpected data depletion. Now, for a country that is increasingly dependent on digital connectivity, network reliability is not just convenience, it's economic necessity. Users have gone on social media to share rants, screenshots, and memes about vanishing data, no service, and painfully slow speeds. Many tagged regulators for help, switched to alternative networks like MTN, Glo, and the rest, or verified directly at Airtel, which responded by apologizing and asking for DMs with numbers. Airtel plans network expansions in 2026 amid recent NCC fines for service failures. But for now, complaints keep pouring in with no widespread outage reported. Let's look at some of the tweets from social media as people vented their frustrations on Airtel. This one says, I did 20 GB data for 2 days ago. I didn't use it at all. I was using my Wi-Fi all through. Today my data balance is saying 0. Airtel Nigeria, what happened to my data? Of course, this one is a meme saying me begging Airtel to give me at least 10 Mbps, talking about network speed there. Very funny. This one says, Airtel Nigeria, how come your network is so bad? Even your 5G router doesn't doesn't work efficiently. It keeps buffering, and even when we use 3G, it never really slowed this badly. We are having downtimes too frequently. Tagging at FCCPC Nigeria and Nigeria Communications Commission right there. This one says, you'll be having a productive day and Airtel NG will come with their rubbish network. Oh, very funny right there. And I think I have one more. It says, hello at Airtel Nigeria. Your network quality has been extremely poor lately. Constant slow internet and frequent network issues despite active data plans. This is frustrating and unacceptable. Please fix this. Well, those are some of the comments, and a whole lot has been happening. And if you're an Airtel user, I would love to hear from you and know your perspective. How has it been for you using Airtel network, surfing the internet, browsing, and all of that? It's really been a whole lot, and I think I'll try and see how to get to speak to an authority, maybe someone in the Airtel space, to really come to tell us what's really going on with Airtel network these days. While we are talking about thriving in tech, it can't work when we have so many network interruptions and unstable internet, and Airtel is one of the biggest in the country, so they really need to do something about their network coverage. We take a short break right here, and when we return, we look at major tech stories from across Africa and around the world. It's Tech Insight on Spectrum TV. Stay tuned. Welcome back. It's Tech Insight here on Spectrum TV, and my name is Samuel Ugochukwu. Now let's look beyond Nigeria and see what's happening across Africa and the global tech landscape. We move to North Africa, where Moroccan startup Yaki has raised $15 million in Series A funding to digitalize real estate transactions. The company aims to simplify property buying, selling, and renting through technology, bringing transparency and efficiency to Africa's property market. This funding highlights growing investor interest in Africa's property technology sector. It's actually ripe for disruption, and it's good to see tech coming into real estate. We call that prop tech, property technology, the merging of property and technology, and tech could finally make property ownership more transparent and accessible, and we do hope to have this flow into other parts of Africa, not just North Africa. And speaking of Africa's growing influence, let's talk about African talents right now. African developers, engineers, and tech professionals are increasingly contributing to global tech projects, from Silicon Valley startups to European AI labs. Remote work, the global hiring platforms, and tech education programs are helping African talents enter the global workspace. This trend is reshaping how the world views Africa, not just as a market, but as a talent powerhouse. Of course, Africa has right now in the world, Africa has the largest population, young population. There are more young people in Africa than anywhere in the world. 70% of Africa's population is made up of youths, and this is there's a very huge talent pool in Africa, and that's why the whole world is looking to Africa. Major companies of the world today, you have a significant share of African talents working for them, and that is what we have, and it's good to see that these talents are equipped and they are being helped to scale their careers in these fields. Now let's take a look at how technology is transforming even unexpected industries. AI digital twins transforming sports technology. AI-powered digital twins and 3D avatars are being deployed in professional sports to analyze player movements, improve referee decisions, and enhance fan engagement. This is a new one in sports tech right here. Of course, these technologies create real-time virtual replicas of athletes, helping teams optimize performance and reduce injuries. Sports is becoming a data-driven industry, and AI is now a key player. Well, of course, we've seen lots of improvements coming into football. First of all, it was the goal line technology a few years ago, and then we saw the introduction of the video assistant referee. And if this would actually come into play, especially as we have the FIFA World Cup coming up this year, it would be very, very helpful for the game of football to minimize injuries, perfect calls, referee calls, and all of that. And bringing AI into sports, especially football, which is, I mean, the world most followed sports activity, it's something to look forward to. Finally, on the show today, let's talk about global startup opportunities. The Startup World Cup has opened regional applications in Abuja, Nigeria, with a global prize of $1 million. African startups now have a chance to compete on the global stage, pitch to international investors, and win significant funding. This could be a major opportunity for Nigerian and African founders looking to scale globally. Yes, the Startup World Cup is a competition where that brings together startups, innovators from different parts of the world. It's competed regionally, first regionally in different countries, and then we have the continental edition, and then the winners, those that emerge winners will now move to the global stage to compete at the Startup World Cup. And global platforms like this level playing field for African startups. They need visibility, and these platforms like this provide that visibility. And that brings us to the end of today's show. It's Tech Insight here on Spectrum Television. We've been looking at global payments returning to Nigeria, and to Africa's tech talents gaining global recognition, and AI reshaping industries from real estate to sports. And one thing is clear, that technology is no longer the future. As I and we have always said here, technology is no longer the future. We are living in the times. These are interesting times. What a time we are living in. They are. And as Africa continues to build, innovate, and connect with the global ecosystem, platforms like this will continue to spotlight these stories. Platforms like Tech Insight, I mean to say, will continue here to spotlight these stories and keep you abreast with what's happening in the tech space in Nigeria, Africa, and the rest of the world. My name is Samuel Ugochukwu. Thank you for watching Tech Insight here on Spectrum Television. Do well to join us next weekend for another round of tech stories, updates, and insights, conversations shaping innovation and technology across Africa and beyond. Do have a great weekend. See you next time.